Amazon had agreed to raise the minimum wage across the board. How are they justifying the discrepancy with the flex workers?
Well, first, let me just describe to you what the flex workforce does and who these people are. So it's an independent contractor program within Amazon, and it works a lot like Uber or Postmates or DoorDash, in which people use their own cars to drive, and they're promised about $18 to $25 an hour. But what we found in our research is that, and we also used a report from research firm Bernstein, is that people are actually taking home closer to $5 or $11, depending on how they factor in their expenses. This is $5 an hour as they're driving in their own cars and paying their own tolls and paying for parking instead of Amazon paying those expenses.
Right, 18 to 25 and $5 to $11 an hour is a huge difference. How did Amazon respond to this?
You know, they were pretty unhappy with our reporting, but in all seriousness, I think they felt that the report that we used was unfair. The report that we used said that drivers actually ended up going about an hour and a half longer than what Amazon promised them in these blocks. So most blocks are about 4 hours. This report from Bernstein said that drivers were actually working about 5.5 hours because they were delivering or they were returning undeliverable packages to Amazon warehouses and not getting paid for that work. So they did dispute the report, and we made that clear in our article. But what we found in talking to a lot of drivers is that the report is backed up from the fact that most drivers, after they did their expenses, found they were making closer to $5.50 or $6 an hour.
Now, it seems like Amazon's move to raise the minimum wage to $15 was in part caving to political pressure, but also dealing with a tighter labor market. Clearly, they don't want to hurt their reputation. I mean, what do you think is the likelihood that they'll actually raise the wages for flex workers as well?
You know, they could end up raising them because it is competitive to get good workers, and the gig economy has become more competitive. So I could see them doing that, or, you know, chipping in on some of the tolls or expenses that come up when you're delivering packages, especially across state lines or to areas that don't have parking. So I think they may consider or reconsider their model. The Bernstein report that we used said that this is not a sustainable model for Amazon because people will eventually catch on and realize, these drivers will eventually catch on and realize that they're only making $5 an hour.
Right, your reporting really put in great detail all the burdens that these flex workers have to take on. As a result of this, do you think fewer workers will join the Amazon Flex platform?
You know, it's unclear. I mean, we did speak with some psychologists and a behavioral economist, and what I found so fascinating in doing this reporting is that people don't think about expenses when they take on a gig economy job. And it's actually, I think, hardwired in our brains that we think about the reward, what's going into our bank account. And our brains don't want to assess the actual expenses that are going to that we have to account for come tax time. So, you know, it's possible that they could continue to sort of survive on this model, hoping that people don't realize how much they actually have to spend to make these deliveries.